baby, listen to the speaker. No matter what, just say the word. I'm loving all I see.
Pop, persuadable. What's going on, everybody? So I'm messing around with the Embalmer, right? So a lot of people have been asking me, what is your opinion of the Embalmer? If the Embalmer was released in October, Embalmer would be an S tier character. Unfortunately, better things have come along. Perfumer outclasses him, Seer outclasses him. So because of that, I'm not really too impressed with him, if I'm going to be honest with you. I do appreciate his perseverance on the rocket chair. His coughing kind of stinks, to be honest with you. But, you know, it's better than what we used to have when it was only really Thief and Magician, right? And even at that, I would probably still want a Magician rather than him. So the Embalmer's not bad, but there's way too many other things that have come before him, right? So it's essentially like you dating somebody that's really awesome and then they break up with you and then you're stuck with kind of like the second person in line. Like, sure, like they're not bad, but really they're just bench warmers. So I'm not really too excited with him. This is kind of a fun match, though. Me and this Hunter going back and forth on here. I do know that he has a little bit of a delay when he tries to climb the window, and that's where it comes into this sort of mental game. Never get into that that moment that I was just in. It's really bad for kiting, but I'm not really familiar with this map yet. Believe it or not, I know you're not going to believe me, it's fine. This is actually the first time I played on this map, and I had no idea where I was going. Like right now, I had no idea where I'm going. And then I actually hide. Like literally watch me hide. I'm just hiding. I'm like, please leave me alone, because I don't know where I'm moving on this map. And it actually worked. And that's something that I got to make a video on eventually, is when to hide and when not to hide. I feel like a lot of people underestimate that value. It can be very important, especially as a Mind's Eye main. So this is me practicing with Mind's Eye. It's going to be one-on-one now. This kite is about for 120 seconds, so this is a 2-minute kite. Which it's an alright kite, but I've been a little rusty, I'm not going to lie, since I've been away from the match. Away from the game. So this is me kind of practicing in this area. I told myself I was not going to leave this area. So again, these are challenges that I make for myself. This is how you get better at the maps, and especially after people started using Geisha more recently, especially with her recent buff not too long ago. I do these things where, you know, I really want to compete against them, especially using a Mind's Eye. It's 2 versus 8. I think at this point in time, Geisha has her speed buff and I don't. So it makes it a little bit more challenging, which is totally okay. It's kind of offset anyways, because she can hit me up to 3 times. And, you know, one of the things, how I kite in 1 versus 4 is how I actually kite differently in 2 versus 8. Because in 2 versus 8, I will only know that I'm allowed to get hit 3 times. And so what I've been really doing is practicing these kiting sessions without me really using the pallets too quickly, right? So if I'm playing 1 versus 4, sometimes I use the pallets a little bit quicker, especially because I don't really know what the persona builds are, especially if they have increased movement speed after 8 seconds of chasing a survivor, right? So what I really do here is I'm working on this concept called kiting chess. And that video really needs to come out eventually. I made it and then I deleted it because I was unsatisfied with it. But it's really just working on your instincts. It's working on your instincts, trying to figure out when do they swing and when do they not swing. When do you throw the pallet? When do you not throw the pallet? So what you really see me doing here is just working on that whole sort of thing. She eventually kills me. I want to show you that, but it was a 2-minute kite. And if you're wasting 2 minutes of your time in a 2 versus 8 on a Mind's Eye just for the first time, putting them on a chair, you're probably going to lose the match. And they did lose that match. The other thing that I've been practicing is this zone over here. Just really being able to move within these areas. I'm really liking Mind's Eye. I like the vision that she has. But what you got to be able to learn how to kite. And so really what you're seeing here is me using these walls to my advantage. So I always have this sort of vision on the Hunter. And just really running like this over back and forth, using these, not making sure I use the pallets at relatively appropriate times right there. I probably threw that pallet down a little bit too early. And so that's going to allow him to get his first hit on me. Again, that's because I threw that pallet down. So I'm showing you some of the mistakes that I make. And even if I have a good kite session, this is a good kite session. It's 1 versus 4. This is a real match. I believe it's ranked match. I usually only include ranked matches in this. There's moments where you really have to be able to use these pallets to your advantage, when you need to use them, when not to use them. And this is why I think Mind's Eye is a very versatile character. If you're a really good kiter, a Mind's Eye is really annoying. If you leave me alone, I'm just going to decode all the machines. If you come after me, I'm going to make you severely pay the consequences. And this is at a point where the hunter loses me. Actually, you going through these walls and seeing him, he loses me. He's going to the corner over there. He has no idea where I am. And I was able to successfully lose him. And that's really what is an interesting point with Mind's Eye, which is why I really like to use her, is that I think people underestimate the vision that she gives the team. If you have a Mind's Eye on your team and you die early game, you're really messing up. You're messing up really bad, because I'm essentially giving you vision. I'm giving you vision, and you know the hunter is coming your way. And again, with top players, it's going to be very difficult to be able to kill them early game if they know that the hunter's coming their way. One of the best things that hunters can do is try to get the jump scare. That's what top hunters try to do. Or if you're trying to decode a machine and the hunter is able to maneuver and rush towards your location, he can kind of catch you off a little off guard sometimes, where you're not technically in position but close enough. And with Mind's Eye, you eliminate that. That early game vision is really nice. So the idea with Mind's Eye is somewhat like what it is with Mechanic, where it's like, if you come after me, I'm going to make you really pay. I'm going to make you pay. I'm going to kite the heck out of you. I'm going to use these tight corners, these tight walls, because I can see you in these walls. Sometimes I'm actually going to allow you to hit me so I can relocate to a stronger part of the map. And that's something that people forget to do when they're kiting. Sometimes it's better to get hit once, right? So he was able to hit me here, okay? Now look where I'm at. I'm at one of the strongest areas of the map. He knows that, and I'm not at one of the strongest areas of the map. I'm sorry. This is different footage. I'm not going back. Anyways, I'm going to continue kiting him. Allowing that boost to really get me to another spot. I'd rather do that than only try to kite for 5 seconds longer and be on the wrong positioning of the pallet. So those are sometimes where you have to strategize, where it's like, you know what, I'm allowing myself to get the hit because I'll know I'll get a little boost, especially against somebody like the Feaster. And now I can use these walls to my advantage. I see that he's constantly coming after me, and this allows me to kite in a way that I wouldn't be able to kite if I wasn't Mind's Eye. And this is why I think Mind's Eye is vastly underrated. And I also know that he just teleported away, so that's why I'm kind of doing my thing now. And again, I know that some people try to say Mechanic is better. I think that's a valid argument. I think that Mechanic's ban rate speaks for itself. I think that she has a 3% global buff, which is really nice. But I definitely think that Mind's Eye is underrated. And if I do come back to the game on a competitive level, I'll probably come back as a Mind's Eye, just so I can prove to everybody really how great of a character she can truly be. And one of the things that happens often, actually, I'm going to show you, is people really think that sometimes I play a whole bunch of games for, days on days, and then that's the footage I use. And that's not necessarily the case. Typically, if I come out with a video, I play with a lot of people, they can tell you. Usually it's the gameplay from the night before. So when I have these compilations of the gameplay, it's not like weeks on weeks of gameplay and I'm just showing you guys a montage. I don't make montages. A montage is like your greatest performances. Usually I'm just kind of showing you some of the better moves that I'm making, of course, but pretty much from like the night before. And what makes it difficult is, for instance, in the beginning of this clip right here, you saw that the hunter just left me, right? Which I usually phrase as the persuadable effect. And I can't tell you how often that happens, and then I have boring footage. And then what's even more annoying is when you face a fully fed hunter early game because they stomped your team and you literally have nothing. You know what I mean? And, you have some people are like, oh, you only kited me for 75 seconds or something. I'm like, yo, I one-on-one you 75 seconds in the beginning of the game. You were fully fed because you killed somebody else. Like, it's not that bad. And that's where it gets difficult with the whole 2 versus 8 thing. The other thing is that in 2 versus 8, I can't tell you how long it takes sometimes these hunters for them to kill me. And sometimes I allow them to hit me. Sometimes I literally allow them to hit me. I'll give them that first shot just to convince them to go after me. Or other times you'll have 2 hunters that you have to deal with. It gets really difficult. And I think people kind of undervalue that. I think that they undervalue that if you can take up one hunter's time for like 2 minutes in the early game, they should lose that match every time. If you play with a bunch of high-tier survivors, if you waste that much time on one person in the beginning of a 2 versus 8, you should be losing the match. Because high tiers, they're all decoding super fast. And what really stinks is that sometimes you're also trying to experiment different builds, sometimes you have challenges that you're doing, and you'll have a bad match or something, and then somebody takes a photo of it and puts it on Facebook and says, "Oh my God, I beat this person," and you kind of like you're excited for them because they find so much joy in that, but then at the same time you're like, it can be really annoying. It can be really annoying. So this is me just showing some casual games that I did a few nights ago. I've been traveling a lot, and so this is me showing you, the gameplay where, you're not always going to have something that crazy happens. And it can be hard to kind of discern, what sort of footage do you put in there. Eventually, I'm going to die, I think. I think this is a clip I die in, I don't know. But look at how much time that they've wasted. And, you can't really, a lot of people who are still learning the game, they'll be like, "Oh, well, you eventually died." And it's like, yeah, of course I eventually died. I'm playing super aggressive right now. Right now, I've been hit one time. I'm not trying to get healed right now. I'm trying to annoy them. And I'm trying to play aggressive and kind of be in their face and trying to see what they're doing. Right there, they tried to throw mud. They tried to throw mud. If you look at that, right, you're just like, oh, that's nothing spectacular. But I just avoided going down. That would have been 2 hits. And so one of the other things is that a lot of these hunters, they also like to use excitement. And I genuinely don't blame them. I'd play excitement too. But it makes my job harder. It makes my job substantially harder because since they're using excitement, there's times where you'd be able to stun them, right? But because they have excitement, because they know it's you and you're playing forward, it makes your job substantially harder. So sometimes trying to collect footage and trying to collect gameplay, even though usually it doesn't take me a long time to do, you're not going to have a crazy game every single match. And this is where I don't get sometimes the ego of some survivors, because it's like you're going to have good games and you're going to have bad games. I don't know a single top tier survivor that doesn't have a bad game. It happens. So coming out with the footage is really not that hard. It's just that when people see you in the game lobby, they literally will build like 100% of their build just to kill you as an individual because they don't want to go on YouTube, which I don't understand because I do a good job at protecting hunters' identities. I never tell people which hunter it is. I never tell people which hunters are currently losing because it's not fair. I don't try to gain a reputation by being even in season 1 when I was going against. Most of my footage in season 1 was against the top 5 hunters at the time. And, I never plastered their name all over the place. Like right here, right? I'm literally allowing this geisha to hit me. I literally just stayed on it. I was like, I don't even care. I'm going to allow her to hit me. Maybe she'll come after me. And she still doesn't come after me. And so that's where it can get hard. This is why I don't play forward as much when I try to come out with footage. Because they're not avoiding me because of me. They're avoiding me because I'm a forward. And I would be doing the same thing if I was them. So that's why I've started playing Mind's Eye and stuff. Because if you don't come after me, I'll just decode all of the machines. But if you do come after me, I still want to cut you. So I just did a rescue here, right? He ended up going down anyways. And I'm a one-shot. All of this, I'm a one-shot. And I'm still making him miss, all of these shots. This is how aggressive I play. I play this aggressive. And that's what makes it fun for me. But then you'll have some tryhards who are so paranoid about dying. They're like, oh, I need to get healed. And then I don't play that way. I like to play aggressive. I like to have fun. He's chasing after me, by the way. So I'm going to duck and I'm going to avoid his rocket dash. So, out of all this, right, you're about to see this kite session that's happening, right? I'm a one-shot kill in all of this. This is all as a one-shot kill. It's still a 2-minute kite, I think. I think I still kite him for 2 minutes. And the reason why I'm showing you this footage is because I'm incorporating a few things. I'm incorporating the ability to hide when you need to hide. I think my current build right now is left and down because it's 2 versus 8. So that's why I was able to charge that pallet. I didn't strip away the left wing. And sometimes I'm just like, I want to see how long I can last. So you're going to see a little challenge for me. I'm actually going to stay in this area again. I really like to do this just to see what you can and can't do, and making sure that you're taking really sharp turns. So when he tries to hit you with the rocket dash, I'm really excited for the new update that's coming on where mobile users have to play mobile users and computer users play computer users. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a computer user, you have a significant advantage. I mean, I have respect for your skill, but I don't have a respect that you're using a computer. So I'm really excited for Season 4 coming up. I'm really excited that what we're going to have is a whole bunch of the band system coming out and the club system. So I am really excited for that. And I'm showing you him killing me. Showing you that. And that was a fun time. All right, well, I'm going to conclude the video here. Just wanted to show you some updates for some of my gameplay, some of the things I'm doing right, some of the things I'm doing wrong. Feels good. I'm going to be really busy trying to get to Arizona, so my gameplay is going to be limited at times, but hopefully I can try to figure it out in my schedule. Very excited for Season 4. I'll have a live video tonight. Take care, guys.